Check out this design review for a PMSM motor controller and inverter. Now, this particular PMSM motor controller runs on a DSP chip. On some of these components, you don't have any useful information to know what the component is. The parameterization is all over the place. I really mean it's all over the place. So you need to get a consistent library with consistent parameterization for your design. Here you can see that we have some circuits drawn onto an op-amp, but this is not an op-amp component. This is actually meant to represent the internal op-amp inside of the DSP chip. Pretty cool idea. You also have some capacitors here for decoupling and bypassing, and I like how you wrote out the specific pin where these need to be connected. I would say in this design, you probably don't need a power plane layer. You could have just defined it as a signal layer and drawn out rails, but I will say that you did use the power layer correctly. Here we do see that there are some signals routing over the power plane boundary. You can just kind of make it out here going diagonal. And these signals are not really critical. It's not like you're routing high-speed signals over this boundary. So if you're going to route anything over that boundary, I guess it's going to have to be these signals. However, consider adding in ground fill on the top and bottom layer for this design. That way you give a little bit of extra ground coverage to some of these regions on this bottom side, and then you can stitch it together with ground pour on the top side. Now let's look in 3D. Here on the top layer, you have these huge numbers of vias in pad on some of these SMD components that you're then going to need to fill and cap. I would say you don't really need to have these vias here. I think you did a great job of cleaning up the surface layer. I'll just note here that you do have your outline for your mounting holes extending across the board edge, and it even looks like you drew the board outline in silkscreen, which doesn't really do anything. Want to have me review your design on the channel? Make sure to send me a message on LinkedIn with your design files and your manufacturing files.